come California avocados are so tasty and, well, fun?
Avocados have been synonymous with California for more than a century. And yet, nearly all of the avocados we eat actually come from Mexico. LA Times Enterprise reporter Daniel Miller wrote about one Southern California farmer who is on a mission to save the California avocado. You know, this was so interesting. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me, Lisa.
And I think everyone I mentioned this story to said, I've noticed that, the avocados are different now. Take us back in time and tell us the story of the California avocado.
Sure. So we need to tell the story of the avocado in general. It begins about 5,000 years ago in the area that's now Mexico. And it's cultivated there, and eventually it makes its way up toward California. And we can fast forward a little bit to the 1920s. That's when we meet somebody named Rudolf Haas. Now, he is a mail carrier from Pasadena, and he also is a grower. And he discovers this new sort of avocado that is delicious and creamy and hearty, and he patents it in the 1930s. And of course, it becomes known as the Haas avocado, and it takes the world by storm. Now, 95% of the avocados consumed in this country are Haas avocados. So it's a business that really is synonymous with Southern California.
It is until it isn't. We have to talk about NAFTA. During the Trump administration, we've heard a lot about the evils of globalization. But in the case of our California avocado growers, it's true.
Yeah, so you don't have to go back very far to a time when there were no Mexican avocados sold in the United States. But NAFTA in 1994 changes that. And it actually doesn't start until 1997. There were some concerns about a pest infestation that led to this delay. But in 1997, avocados start flooding into part of the United States and then the entire country. And they take this market by storm. And now something like 9 out of 10 avocados consumed in the United States are from Mexico. And that leaves little room for California farmers and their product.
Farmers like Norman Kchuk. Tell us his story.
Sure. So Norm Kchuk is a 70-year-old former neurologist turned avocado farmer. And he took over his family's business in the San Diego County area about 2010. And he got this rapid education in the world of avocados. And some of what he saw, he didn't really like. Norm saw that the business was struggling, and he felt that his farm and other farms weren't getting support from the powers that be in the industry, and that's first and foremost the California Avocado Commission.
Yeah, what were they not doing for them?
Norm believes, and not just Norm, but other farmers that I interviewed, that the commission could do more to market California avocados to differentiate them from Mexican avocados. And there are issues in the Mexican avocado industry that he thinks should be highlighted, things like illegal deforestation and the theft of water and the exploitation of labor. And Norm and others believe, hey, if American consumers knew that that's the true cost of Mexican avocados, maybe they'd pay a little bit more for California ones.
What is he doing right now to make that happen?
So Norm and some of his colleagues have tried all sorts of gambits to see if they can help their business. They have worked on elections with the California Avocado Commission, and now, in fact, they are pursuing a lawsuit. Norm and others have sued a handful of major avocado companies in the United States. What they allege is that they are using false advertising and that they're marketing their avocados as sustainably grown and sourced, when in fact, they are grown on land that has been deforested. And these companies have denied the allegations, and it's playing out in court.
And Norm says that those Mexican avocados, not only the deforestation and the labor issues, the potential for cartel involvement, right, and all sorts of questionable growing practices, but he says they aren't as good.
Yeah, and I think that's a common thread in all the interviews I did with California avocado farmers. They're really proud of the fruit that they grow, and they are certain that it's a superior product. And they say, look, avocados from Mexico, they're traveling these far distances. Maybe we don't know what kind of pesticides they're being sprayed with. And in the end, it all adds up to a product that they say is clearly inferior to what they're selling.
But there are some growers in Northern California who are doing okay, and a lot of it has to do with the seasons.
That's right. There's something of a geographical divide among California avocado farmers. You have a cluster of farmers in the San Diego County area, and then you have another cluster near Ventura and Santa Barbara counties. And their season is a little bit later up north. And so when their fruit comes on the market, it's not directly competing against the Mexican avocados and the avocados from Southern California. So in general, they have a little bit better, and the Southern farmers are in a tough spot.
And I know that all those farmers want us to look for signs that say grown in California. But in the meantime, Norm is working on something that he hopes will be another game changer.
That's right. So when I visited Norm on his property last year, he took me to a part of his farm where there were about 50 reed avocado trees. Now, reed is a local variety that is not very well known at all, and they are big. They're like the size of a grapefruit and the shape of the grapefruit. And he says they're the best avocado in the world, but it's not commercially grown right now because they don't do so well once they're picked. And he wishes he could spend more time on it. He works on it when he can, but that's really one of his passions.
Yeah, meantime, draining his savings to keep his family farm afloat. Daniel Miller, a fascinating look inside the world of avocados.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you then.